Fit like Abdi, Dannyman here, and welcome back to another episode of Transport Fever 2 Around the World in Time. And we've got the dark sky, sort of night skybox mod installed, and it looks absolutely amazing. I absolutely love the way this looks. So we've got some lights and stuff. The rest of the building lights don't seem to come on. That's not a massive disaster though. Wait, what is this building? I've never seen this building before. Huh. Madness. Anywho, yeah, it looks absolutely fantastic. It looks even better in the snow. It looks good without the snow as well. I have tested this out. There is this weird line thing going on there at that corner of the map. I don't know what that is exactly, but apart from that, it looks really good. You get some awesome views with the moon in the background. The moon provides just enough light and the sort of lighter clouds so that it's not completely in darkness. How does the water look? Yeah, the water looks good. Kind of looks like ice even. There we go, look. Beautiful with the flock of birds. Could almost be a scene from a Christmas card. But yeah, it's awesome. So we're going to jump on board a train. Now, normally we would jump on board the train. This time, I think, even the cathedral here looks awesome. In the sort of, the almost night time. It looks really good. I'm super happy with this mod. I think it's the same guy that made the sunset mod, but we'll jump on a train and we'll let it sort of cruise along down to Manchester. The snow texture even looks more prominent on the roads than it does sort of during the daylight. Now what we'll do is I'll pop into Steam Workshop and I will let you guys know what the mod creator's name is, because I've got it on the other screen here. Oh yeah, Steam done away with. There used to be a thing in the workshop where you could set games by how many hours you'd played. For some reason Steam has gotten rid of that. I don't know why. Seems kind of stupid, but hey ho, it is. It is what it is. Right, so where are you, my good old nighttime thing? But yeah, it looks really good. I'm so happy. Look at the signal box. We'll get the moon in the background, or will we? Nah, the bridge is kind of in the way. The farms look good though. It just looks fantastic. Everything looks so good in this. So yeah, the night cycle doesn't have to be ridiculously dark. You can have some form of, you know, background light that doesn't make it look too bad, and it looks absolutely fine. Where is the night? I can't find it. I just downloaded it recently because it only just popped up in the workshop recently. Ah, there it is. By, what does that say? Philemon Finifoiori. Can't pronounce that. But I think it's the same guy that also made the sunset mod. He's made quite a few things for like gameplay. If you wanted to do gameplay in France, he's made lots of French trains and stuff. And I'm pretty sure he'd made the sunset mod. Maybe not. I don't see it in his collection. But yeah, this nighttime mod looks absolutely fantastic. I absolutely love the way this looks. I mean, look at the farm. There we go. As it heads through the night. Look, even the little wagons here have got their lights on them. It's awesome. It's very well done. So, it is the dark night. It is the last night of 2021. For some of you guys, if you're in like Australia or over in Asia or something, it might actually be 2022 by the time you watch this, but it is still 2021 for me. At least for about, what is it, 14 more? No. What am I thinking? 70? Yeah, still almost a day to go, because I'm recording this really super early in the morning. So, yeah, it's been a great year. So, not in, well, it's not been the greatest year. It's been a decent year. Obviously, the world has had some issues to deal with. It's the same for everyone, but for me, it was not too bad. It wasn't too bad of a year at all. So I'm really enjoying still doing the YouTubes. I'm so happy to be back doing a bit of Transport Fever here and there, and doing the other series. It's something I really enjoy doing. Again, thank you to the support that all my sort of subs and people have shown me over the last year. It's absolutely phenomenal. I am more than appreciative of the support that I get. So all the comments, the likes, even the suggestions, everything. It's been amazing, and I'm truly sort of humbled that you guys have shown me the support that you have. It's really amazing. We actually did. I was worried that I really wanted to get to a goal of 1,500 or 1,500 subscribers by the end of 2021, and I didn't think I was going to do it, but we've made it. We are actually above 1,500 just. So again, thank you to all those who just newly subscribed, and thank you to those who have been subscribed since, well, very long ago. It's like 4 or 5 years this channel's been on the go. It's been a bit sporadic. Previously, especially at the beginning, when I was still sort of working in the offshore oil and gas industry, there was long periods for sometimes 7-8 weeks while I was away, and there were no videos being published, and that was obviously something I hated at the time. I wanted to record more videos and play through the games and do the content for those games, and it was always sort of sucked being sort of torn away, because it always happened rapidly. I never ever knew well in advance that I was going to be gone for a long time. It was just, I would get a phone call and, hey, that's it, you are off to some far-flung place of the world, and you'll be gone for a long time, deal with it, sort of thing. So the fact that the company I worked for sort of went through quite a bad collapse during the pandemic. It was a shame. There was a lot of good people worked there. They just they couldn't keep going as they'd done for so many years, and lots of us got paid off. So, but for me, it was actually, it was like a sign. I really was not enjoying my job at the time. Way back years ago, it was great. Like, the money was good, the people I worked with were good, everyone sort of was well trained and knew what they were doing, so you could always rely on others. It wasn't just solely up to you putting out fires one after the next. And then just as it came to the end, for roughly about 2 years, it was catastrophically bad. People weren't even getting paid off, they were physically just leaving, because the situation at the place where I worked was just intolerable, and when you tried to fight against it, it was basically a death sentence. So anybody that fought against it just slowly was sort of forced out. So it was really bad. So I was actually super, it was like a weight off my shoulders, finding out that the department I was in was being selected for sort of termination. They were basically the field in the offshore oil and gas industry that I worked in. They didn't want to do anymore. They wanted that department to go so they could liquidate all the assets, etc. And it was a huge weight off my shoulders. Like, oh, this will force me to move on. I haven't fully moved on. I don't know if I want to go back. It's been a year now, and I've not really had any great urge to go back and work abroad or offshore again. The industry right now is really bad at the moment, especially in the UK. It might be okay in some other places, but here it's quite bad. The UK government are trying to phase out new sort of offshore oil and gas projects, which is kind of weird because it brings in so much money. It brings in a lot of stability and job creation, and well, it's basically for the people who work there, they've got decent jobs. They make decent money. It provides them with wealth and support for their families. And for some reason, they seem to want to get rid of that. So going back was an option, but at the same time, it's the industry is failing, and it was always before one of those jobs that you just didn't know from one day to the next if you would still have a job to go to. It's very up and down. So this year has been nice. I've been sort of doing odd jobs and stuff. I'm still sort of good financially. The fact that I worked for the company that I worked for so long, and I was so high up in that company that when I got paid off, it was a substantial amount. So that was something, I guess, that was good. I always knew I was going to get that money. They didn't try and fight it or cheat anybody in the company. They just got exactly what they were supposed to get, and that was it. I didn't expect more. I don't think anyone did, because the company I worked for was suffering financially. So, but it was surprising that we didn't actually. Everyone thought they were going to have to be in for a fight to get the money they were owed for their payoffs, their redundancies. But no, they were happy to pay it. So that was great, considering the people that were in charge there at the time. It was quite phenomenal, actually, because all the good people that were there when I worked there sort of went away. They saw that things were going bad, like way before we did, and then once they left, you got moved into their positions, and then you managed to see for yourself that, oh yeah, everything is going down the tubes here. This is real bad. So yeah, it was good to get out. I'm not fully committed to YouTube as a job. There's no way that I could live and financially support myself on YouTube. That's just crazy. But the fact that I still have the time to get one video out every day is phenomenal. I always thought that would be a super tough schedule. I suppose building the new system to take some weight off of the older system was absolutely a fantastic idea. It's a lot easier. The rendering time for videos has just been absolutely annihilated. It went from being like an hour plus to it only takes about 30 minutes. And that's for like a 4K video. So it's awesome. Building that, although expensive, was a great investment. Weirdly though, it seems to be OBS. OBS just seems to struggle at recording stuff at 4K. I don't know why. There are some games. Surviving Mars was absolutely flawless at recording stuff at 4K. But some of the other games, Transport Fever, Train Life is still in early access, so once it's optimized a bit more, I think maybe it wasn't OBS, probably, definitely go with it was the games, because things like Jurassic Park look absolutely phenomenal. Jurassic World Evolution 2 looks phenomenal in 4K. Now it runs really well in 4K, and you can record at 100 frames plus until weather comes in. When weather comes in, a hurricane, a tornado, a sandstorm, a snowstorm, rain, the frame rate just absolutely plummets. It goes by, and then it's down in the basement. It really struggles. It's like the whole game is flawless and has been optimized really well, but when it comes to the weather, which is a an aspect of gameplay, it just collapses really bad. It's like they never really thought to wonder how all this stuff happening on the screen would affect frames and performance. So yeah, hopefully they do a bit of optimization in that because it's a beautiful looking game, and beautiful looking games deserve to be recorded and shown in, you know, high resolution. So it's kind of a shame that we can't do that. But again, we've managed to record everything at 2K, which my old system probably would not have managed to do. I think it would have managed, but it would have been laggy as hell, and this just does it flawlessly. So we're happy with that. It was a good investment. I did want to do a bit more live streaming this year, unfortunately, until BT decides to add in the gigabyte network node in my area. It is not gonna be possible. Now, you could do something. I could do Twitch streaming easy, because Twitch is capped at 1080p, and 1080p is on Twitch is pretty flawless. However, YouTube it's got two different encoders, one for like 1080, and the sort of VIP priority one is for content creators that create content at like sort of 2K and above. Now, I would love to record in our stream in 4K or 2K, but the bandwidth of the internet, the classic UK standard 20 megabytes a second upload speed, is pretty catastrophic. As soon as like my girlfriend or anyone sort of does anything on the internet that is not the uploading and the stream, it just dies. The internet just sort of craps its pants, and it's like, nope, can't do this anymore. So I would like to do that. I have been testing streams, but it seems like 1080p streams for me, for some reason, doesn't matter what bitrate you throw it just looks sort of blurry and bad, and the 2K streams just look like flawless. They'll look as though it could just be recorded at 2K. No sort of frame dips or losses, or no blurriness or anything. So it's gonna have to wait. I mean, it could be a long time, because according to BT OpenReach, we will get the new network node sometime between now and December of 2026. Magical. I remember being told by a friend that used to work at BT that it was going to be done between sometime before 2023. That was what their estimate was. Now, obviously, you can't fault several companies for lagging behind. Video games companies, telecoms, whatever industry it is, because of the pandemic, everything has been slowed down. But the weird thing is, he actually told me, as like an engineer, he was like, yeah, most of the time you go out to jobs and it's on your own. So there's very little times where there are times now and again when you have to work with another person. He said he's predominantly always worked on his own. So I was like, But hey ho, it's I'm sure we will get there eventually. There are actually areas in the town where I used to live where they've got like 300 megabyte a second sort of download speeds, gigabyte download speeds, 50 megabyte upload speeds. But they're all in new houses. So the new houses get the new internet. It saves them from ripping up and installing infrastructure later. The houses are just simply built with that infrastructure in place, which is a fantastic idea. And I'm sure in hindsight, if the developers of any country knew the technological advances that were going to be made, cities and towns would be a lot different. But unfortunately, we can't look into the future, so there's no way to tell that these things would have been needed or the technologies we have today would have been possible. So live streaming is going to have to take a back seat. I just don't want to upload in sort of 1080p. The whole point of getting the new rig was we'll actually jump on board the train for this little return journey. You're down here, my friend. Yeah, the whole point of getting the new system was that so that I could move forward as a content creator and create better content in sort of 4K and 2K resolution. And going backwards again, back to 1080p, just seems like a step back, and it's not something I'm willing to do. It's a real shame because there was a lot of games that I wanted to cover. Like, for example, I wanted to do the City State as fully as streaming, go on, play 3-4 hours a day on stream, have you guys sort of help me or make suggestions for the cities and stuff and the type of cities that we would build. But it wasn't to be. Because the internet just hates me, apparently. So that's unfortunate. So yeah, there was other games that I would have liked to have covered, but I never got round to them because there were games that I planned to stream. Like Jurassic Park, I probably would have streamed that as well. And then that would have freed up plenty of more time to sort of do things like Transport Fever or maybe do another series in between. But it's just it is just not possible because the internet where I live is so terribly bad. It was actually hilarious because my mother recently had an issue with Windows 10. So I think quite a few people I know have been having issues with Windows 10 recently. So have I, because Microsoft will be purposefully making Windows 10 rubbish so that everyone has to go and change to Windows 11. And from what I've heard from Windows 11, it's not something I want to do. Not until it's been fleshed out and it's a bit more optimized. So she did call me, and I was like, yeah, I'll come down. And her computer is quite old, and I heard some horror stories about the specs needed for installing Windows 11. But anyway, the day I was supposed to do it, I didn't really have the time. So she had a friend that she used to work with he was like an IT guy for the Aberdeenshire education system. And he came round, and my mother had said to him that I was always complaining about the internet in our area, and he said that the internet speeds that we've got, the 70 down and 20 megabytes up, were absolutely fine, that there was no need to go to a higher bandwidth. And I laughed. I was absolutely in hysterics. And then just as he said that, my mother was saying that it took something like 17 hours to download Windows 11. Almost a day. And I was like, why would someone tell you that you don't need faster internet while trying to download something that is crawling along, trying to download a phenomenal amount of data and taking almost a day to do it. So his argument was completely blown out of the water. But some people think that their internet speeds are good. People who live alone. I know in like my girlfriend's house and her brother's house, they've got kids. They're all live streaming Disney Plus. He's trying to do work on the computer. He needs to upload files, large files, to other parts of the world. And you notice it. You actually do notice it. You'll go on. They'll be streaming something in the living room, and the quality of the stream in the living room will go down. It'll go into this blurry, laggy mess. And it's like, why? How much internet are you guys using? But they just use a phenomenon. If you've got a lot of people using your internet, it's going to go down fairly fast. Because that brings me back to one of the live streams I actually did. It was a gas station simulator live stream. And halfway through the live stream, my girlfriend came back from work. And she noticed that I'd set the router to only allow the PC I was using for streaming to access it. So even I couldn't access it on my phone, she couldn't access it. So when she came home from work, because she came home early, she went to log on, she went to look at her phone, she noticed it wasn't connected to the Wi-Fi. She thought the Wi-Fi was broken, so she just went and turned off the router. She switched the router, one of the main ones in the house beside the phone, off, and then switched it back on again, and that was it. Stream was gone. I managed to get the stream back up and explain to her exactly what was happening, of which she apologised, because she didn't realise. She thought I was actually done. She knew I was going to be streaming that day, but she thought I would have been finished. So yeah, it was really funny. But that's the thing, even if I hadn't blocked her phone and her phone could have still have accessed the router, as soon as she'd went on it, it just would have killed the internet would have dropped out, because it's just so terribly bad. But a lot more homes in the UK are getting it. I know a lot of people in England, people I used to work with, etc., and other streamers and YouTubers are saying that they are starting to get their gigabit connections, and that it makes a world of difference. So we'll just have to be patient, and we'll just have to stick with the normal recording and uploading of videos, which is fine. It's what I've done for years, and I look forward to continuing. Now, as for the stuff in the new year, we'll be continuing on with Train Life. There is an update. Update 2 is going to be dropping for that sometime. I don't know when, but they just said it might be coming soon. We'll be continuing on with the Jurassic World Evolution, because I actually really enjoyed the first Jurassic World Evolution. Evolution 2 is better. I think visually it's better. Some of the gameplay mechanics they've changed is better. I actually quite like the scientist aspect of the gameplay. The fact that you have to rest them and you need certain ones to research certain things, incubate certain dinosaurs, etc. That's kind of cool. That adds a little bit more of a challenge. And I love the chaos theory mode. The fact that you can basically make the parks, Jurassic Park, the original, the Jurassic World Evolution, the Jurassic World Park, the San Diego Jurassic Park from the Lost World. That's really cool, the way they have implemented that. So bravo to them. We'll be wrapping up City State 2. I think I'm going to finish the Neptune State, and then we'll maybe move on to something else. If there are more sort of updates and things that come out for the game, I'd like a couple of more buildings. City State 1 had this really neat aspect to the game where you could find iron ore deposits or gold deposits or oil, and you could either set them to be contract or state owned. And the guy who creates it seems to have removed that from the game, and it's a real shame, because I thought it was a great aspect to the previous game. So I don't know what to do after that, though. I'm still trying to figure that out. I might just focus more time on getting Transport Fever 2 sort of back and rolling on a regular schedule. I'd have to build out more maps and do a lot more high detailing. High detailing is something that I was struggling to begin with, but I'm starting to sort of find my own in it. It's not going to be perfect yet, but the more I do, the better off I'm getting at it. So this is going to take practice, and it's going to take time, and hopefully we get to create some really awesome maps with some nice points of view and some cool lines. So we're doing the old school lines, but eventually we'll get into the new stuff. Eventually. And then for all those people who like the old stuff, it'll be sad times for you, because we won't be into the new stuff. So yeah, don't know what to do. I mean, Jurassic World Evolution, we're going to run out of content for that. Once we've done the Chaos Theory mode, I'd like to do a couple little free-form, sort of open world sandbox park builds, so we could be a bit more creative in that. I'd love to do that. And Train Life will go on, but I don't know, because Train Life's one of those tricky games. I quite enjoy playing it, but I've noticed that I can start to burn out in it very quickly. It's like I constantly want more stuff. I want more countries to go to. I want more stuff to explore. Now, they will be adding things like weather, rain, snow, etc. They're adding new regions: Poland, Czech Republic, the Alps, Liechtenstein, Austria. And once the game is released after that, they'll probably then go and release a few more countries and stuff down the line. But it's something like I really enjoy playing, and I want to explore new things. But once everything is explored, it's like, but now it's getting repetitive, going over the same lines and seeing all the same scenery again. Once you've learned the sort of hazards and stuff, it becomes super easy. It's like playing the game on sort of autopilot, where you don't really have to think about what you're doing. But I quite like that as well, because I like games that run on rails, excuse the pun, as you don't really have to think much about it. For example, Transport Fever, City State, 2 games we're playing right now, and it forces you to be creative and sort of build things, and I want to be creative in them, and then I sort of get bored and then just go, well, City State, I wanted to make some really nice cities. What I didn't realise was I was going to be hampered by the game is a city builder, but it's heavily invested in politics and policies. So you need to sort of be able to make money to do your creative things. And what I've found is, if I try to be creative with a city, it goes bankrupt and burns all the money from the entire country in sort of no time at all. So you have to sort of defeat the game and then be creative, which is kind of weird. I suppose you could go on and turn money off. That is an option. But yeah, we've played a few maps now. I think it's time to move on. It is a good game. It looks fantastic. Some people don't like the sort of straight line, squarish builds and stuff, but I do. It's more the politics side. That when you do the politics side, you sort of see as a person who you really are. Do you want to give people free education, free health? Sure, we would love to. Maybe if you were the owner of a pharmaceuticals corporation, maybe having free health in your country would be bad, because you wouldn't make any money. Everything would just be free. You'd probably make money off the hospitals, etc., that need to purchase the drugs that you provide, but you probably would not be able to charge them like ridiculous amounts. And obviously having free education, free healthcare, etc., like state-funded pension plans and stuff, all that goes at cost to your country. So you need some pretty shadowy policies in the background, like the legalization of gambling, but then you tax the hell out of it. And maybe like legalize drug use, tax the hell out of it, prostitution, blah blah blah. You do all these things that other places might consider as bad, but you're doing it. So one side is bad to fund the good side. But yeah, so I'm kind of torn. I don't know what. I'd love to go back to something like Workers and Resources, Soviet Republic. But what I tend to notice there is it's heavily modded. The last two playthroughs that I began, I never got to finish them because they were so heavily modded. When new updates came out, it was bad. The mods that I'd obviously used or installed were sort of clashing. It's always something that's a downside when a game is still in development. If you add mods and then the developers go, well, there's this huge new patch coming and it's going to add this and this and this and this, what you'll find is most of the mods that you've added won't be compatible with the new stuff they've added, and then it just breaks and it sucks. It sucks so bad. So that's basically what happened to mine. So now I'm literally waiting for the game to be fully released. You know, a patch here and there might not affect mods, maybe some optimization patches and stuff. I've noticed in Transport Fever, if you had a lot of mods, getting the patches from Urban Games were sort of 50-50. Either a mod was going to break and it was going to break your save game because it wasn't compatible with the patch, or the patch was going to be fine, the mods didn't need to be changed, and the game was going to run flawlessly as it did before the patch. So it was always a 50-50, and I just don't want to do that anymore. I want to only play modded gameplays in games that are fully released, where I know that everything is going to work. Anno 1800 was one of those games as well. The base game was out and it was fine. There were mods for it on Nexus Mods. They really added tons of different variety to the game, and you installed them and it was great. And then a new update would come out, or a patch, or new DLC, and then it would just burn to the ground instantly. It was just so bad. Now when the modders updated their stuff for the new patches and DLCs, etc., it was great, it would work fine, but it's not, they don't have to do that. What they've provided to you is a free entity to make the game more than what it is. They are not obliged to fix things if something has changed down the line. It's completely up to them. They're doing it at their own time, at their own expense. You just sort of need to be happy that they're providing you with that stuff in the first place. So yeah, I really am kinda don't know what to do for a new series at the start of the next year. But we'll figure it out. There will always be new stuff, and there'll always be sort of roughly this. It'll be roughly the sort of same thing. It'll be something to do with building or transport or trains or trucks or something. But yeah, so I am looking forward to tomorrow. Tomorrow is a new day. Tomorrow is in fact a new year. I hope wherever you are going to enjoy bringing in the new year. Whether you're working, that's unfortunate. If you're with family and friends, great. Stay safe. I hope you have an amazing time. And thanks again. Thanks to all the subs, the support. It's been amazing. We've gotten through another year, and here's to the next year, 2022. So, I hope you guys enjoyed. I really love this night mod. I think it is awesome. It is going to be rearing its head more and more often, I think, because I think it just looks absolutely fantastic. Look at it. It is great. So yeah, we'll leave it there for that episode. Happy New Year. Whenever it comes to you, it might already be New Year if you live in Australia. But for those of us in the UK, the US, and that, it's not New Year yet. So Happy New Year when it comes. I wish you all the best for 2022. Again, thanks for the support. It's been amazing. If you did watch this, let me know. Let me know if you like the dark skybox. I think it looks awesome. I really do. I totally downloaded this thinking, it's going to be like mega darkness and black like the previous nighttime mod was. But it actually looks fantastic. So yeah, that's been it for me. As always, I've been Danny Min, and I will catch you later.